that whole process of ripening comes from senescence, or pretty much like a stop in cell growth. Now the cells don't necessarily die, but they're not growing any further, and they're just done. They're just stopped, right? And that's when like the plant will be disconnected, and the fruit will be its own little thing, and it'll obviously slow down. It'll get oxidized and break down slowly, but it's still necessarily alive in a sense. The cells are not dead, that's why it stays, but they do get broken down over time, and then that's what happens with that. And so there's two things that kind of affect like ripening, and that's acetic acid and ethylene gas. So ethylene gas is very common in like apple peels, and like that's why like some people will put like some fruits in like brown paper bags, and then they'll let it sit for like maybe 2 or 3 days, so like that gas helps that ripening process get faster, especially depending on how porous the plant, like the fruit is. So that's why like some fruits, happen faster, and some might take a little longer because they might not be as porous, so the gas exchange is not able to happen as fast. Um, and then with acetic acid, that just helps to disconnect the plant. So plants always have acetic acid, and acetic acid is actually like a very dangerous molecule.